So you want a sponsor, do you? Well, the number one thing I hear at every racetrack I go to is, Kenny Wallace, my son is 8 years old. He's won 8 championships. He will be the next Kyle Larson. Sadly, I look at him and I say, get in line. Being young and winning is now old. Jeff Gordon, Tiger Woods, they created the young thing some 30 years ago. Now, if you're young and you're winning races, there's hundreds or more of you. So the people always want to know, how can I get a sponsor? Well, let's start like this. Hey, I'm Kenny Wallace out of St. Louis, Missouri, home of the big one. Woo! Gateway to the west, the mighty Mississippi, and the Gateway Arch. See, I can talk normal like this, or I can get all excited. Number one, how do I get a sponsor? Do you have a personality? Are you different? Do you stand out? Do you have a lot of talent like Kyle Larson? If you can win at everything you get in and be the next big thing like a Kyle Larson, well, maybe you don't need anybody because they want you. But for the most part, 99.9% of the race car drivers, they need somebody. Well, let's start at home, right here. How did Rusty Wallace make it? For the most part, how did you make it, Herman? Damn it. St. Louis, Missouri, 1978. Rusty Wallace. We're broke. We're living off Vogel Road in Arnold, Missouri. We're eating bologna and cheese sandwiches with mayonnaise, grilled cheese. We don't have a pot to piss in. We were broke as a joke. But you know what we had? We had a great family. My mom, Judy, she'd make some type of food. We just ate the hell out of it. Then we'd run back out to the shop. We built our own race cars. We all could weld. We all could put motors together. We all could melt lead down. We made it happen, damn it. Can you make it happen? Or are you just buying things and bolting it on the car? If you want to make it to the big time, you have to make it happen. You need to stand out. You have to have a personality. Is your head in the carburetor? Do you understand your race car? All these things. So there's stories out there all day long. Jeff Gordon is a gift from God. He don't know how to weld. He don't know how to wrench anything. Well, he's a gift from God. He's that last. You know when I say 99.9% of drivers, you know, they need help? Jeff Gordon, Kyle Larson, Tony Stewart, they're just damn good. So let's start like this. What if you're not a gift from God? How can you get sponsors to fulfill your dream? Let me tell you my story. 1970s, Rusty Wallace. My dad's racing, our dad's racing, Lake Hill Speedway, Tri-City Speedway, and boy, we are redneck as hell. All of a sudden, Rusty goes, man, I want to go USAC. I want to go NASCAR. It's like, damn, how are we going to make this happen? Rusty wanted it. He was an innovator. Rusty did things his way. I always say Rusty Wallace is Frank Sinatra. He did things his way. Was Rusty brash? Yes, but he stood out. Everybody's like, man, did you hear what Wallace said? He said he was going to win. You see Wallace, he threw a water bottle at Dale Earnhardt Sr. Never forget that. But let's go back. How did Rusty Wallace get sponsors? Well, he met a lot of local businessmen right here at home. John Childs, Childs Tire. If Rusty would have never met John, we would have never made it. And then there's Don Kern, Kern Racing Engines. I mean, could you imagine back in those days spending $20,000 on a motor? I didn't even know that much money was possible to make. Rusty made it happen. Personality, went to local sponsors. My mom even helped Rusty get a sponsor one time called Union Jack. They sold jeans right outside the Targets back in the day. Or maybe it was a venture. You'll help me remember. Then Kenny Schrader. Let's go to Schrader. Schrader, man, he's got a gift for gab. Man, he's witty. If you're around a crowd, Schrader gets to drink a little bit of beer, and I can shut up long enough, which I can. Schrader is as funny as they get. Everybody loves Kenny Schrader. So Schrader made it because Don and Hank King Gas and Oil Company. My brother Mike, how did Mike make it? Well, Mike will talk your arm off, right? Auto Bargain Center, the Willard family out of Lebanon, Missouri. See what I'm saying? Everybody has somebody. Now, I have one person that shocked me. They said to me, I don't like to talk. And I don't like sponsors because I got to take care of them and talk to them. I went, damn, all right. Well, I don't know what I can do for you, but if you want to make it to the big time, you have to learn to sell product. I can promise you that I've been as depressed as you. I've been sitting on my couch at times looking at the ceiling fan going, Lord, how am I going to make it to this next race? I don't want to quit. Well, my story's pretty wild, right? I hung around my brother a lot. I networked. I met Phil Homer at Goodyear. I met everybody that made MSD ignition boxes, Pro Shocks. I barely made it 1 through 12. But, buddy, I was street smart. I wrote all their names down. And then when it come time for me to race, I called all those people up that I met along with my brother. So, can you network? Do you know all your local business people? And if you don't, you have to. If you want to make it, listen, mom and dad and grandpa's money can only go so far. Do you even want it? I mean, how far do you want to go? I know a lot of people that say, you know, I'm real happy right here at home. But we found the great Dick Trickle wanting to go NASCAR at 40 years old. I find that we get bitter, right? If things get hard for us, so let's take NASCAR. I don't like NASCAR. Well, why don't you like NASCAR? Well, because I just can't make it there, and I know I got what it takes. So what that means is most likely you love NASCAR, but it's hard for you to get there. You can't get there, so damn it, you're going to take it out on them. I hate NASCAR. No, you don't. You want to be like Kyle Larson. You want to be like Christopher Bell. Look at Tony Stewart. What made Tony Stewart stand out? Buddy, he had a gift of gab. God gave Tony Stewart a lot of talent, but buddy, he'd tell you what he think. He's the next A.J. Foyt. Tony's also a lover, does a lot for charity. Is he mean? Oh, he's a little brash around the edges just like Rusty was, but who isn't? Nobody's perfect. So can you do all this? Can you? Do you have a personality? Do you know everybody? Let's start with the nuts and bolts. How do you get a sponsor? Knock, knock. Introduce yourself to a local sponsorship and say this first. I want to sell your product. You go up to the AutoZone. Hey, can I speak to your manager? Well, he's not in right now. What can I have his name? Be persistent. Go find the manager and say, hi, my name is Jude Allgaier, and I'm 6 years old, and I want to help sell your product, and in return, I'll put your name on my race car. The last thing you ask for is money. Now, the worst thing you can do is this. Can I have a sponsor? Don't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So here's how you go about it. You can't give up. If you want it that bad, you have to be persistent. So number one, go to your local companies. Tell them you can sell product, and here's what I'm going to do. Have a plan together. Remember, like I said a little bit ago, the days of, hey, give me money, those days are over. So I have saw some things in the past that make me happy. I saw race cars on display on a Saturday from 12 to 2 at your local restaurant, at your local dealership. Figure out a plan, write it down on paper, have everything you've done, have a little portfolio, be persistent, drop it off to them and say, hi, you know, my name's A.J. Foyt. I want to be a race car driver, and I can sell your product. Stand out, be friends with everybody. You know, what makes the great Scott Bloomquist? Scott Bloomquist, he's so weird. Everybody's like, man, but I'll tell you what, Scott Bloomquist don't pay for nothing because he's great. He's got a lot of sponsors. He's been able to go the whole way. So anybody you look at, they were talented, they'll talk, they'll be outgoing. So that's my advice. Number one, be outgoing, meet everybody, say hi, go to your local sponsors, your local companies, ask them if you can sell their product. But for most people, you have to be somebody. Well, I guess that's it, huh? Is it that easy? No. That's why the great Dale Earnhardt Sr. said, Herman, There's thousands of great race car drivers all over the United States. And they only start, what, 40 on Sunday in those cup races? You know, and maybe you don't want to be NASCAR, but you want to run a super late model, right? The motors are like $60,000. I just want to be a midget racer, right? Toyota motor could be as much as $60,000. So no matter what you want to do, everything costs money. We don't want to spend our own money. We go to work, we come home, we got mortgage payments, electric bills, food to put on the table. Any money we make, you know, if you're going to spend it on that race car, I mean, we have spent our money on our race car. And it's no fun to be broke. And it's no fun to wake up in the morning with no heat or nothing. We've all been there. We've all been there. We're all the same. So that's my opinion. That's my story on how to get a sponsor. All right. If you have any questions, just respond below. And I love you all.